It's Saturday, October 29th, 2022. I'm TC Kirkham, and this is the Kirkham Report. Greetings, vinyl community and other VC associated members. I'm TC Kirkham. Welcome to the Kirkham Report for this week. I have a lot of stuff going on this week and a lot of thoughts to get out there. So let's don't waste any time. Let's get right to it with this week's cover story. This week, one of the elder statesmen of the vinyl community, and I know he's going to be hate to be called that, the professor himself, Steve Carlson, did a midweek video about what's happening with the prices in the vinyl industry right now. There's a lot of crazy stuff, and people have been talking for several weeks about recent price increases, including not just Professor Carlson, but Melinda Murphy and a number of other people. The interesting thing about Steve's show on Thursday, and I'll have a link in the show notes where you can go check it out if you haven't done so already, is that he made comparisons between the vinyl prices and the market that was in existence for trading cards back in the 80s and 90s. The markets go up and down, and it's a cyclical thing. As he always says, history always repeats itself. But I don't think he went far enough, and I'll be honest with you. I don't think the trading card industry is really the industry we should be looking at for comparisons. Quite simply, because the vinyl resurgence has been so explosive, so huge over just a couple of years, really, from 2019 to 2022, sales have increased something like 112%, somewhere in that area. There's one that's even more relevant, and we have to be very careful because we don't want to bottom out. We want to make sure that this continues. And even if the prices are going to slowly increase, which is normal for inflation, sometimes outpricing things happens overnight, like in this industry.
They've already pulled the sample. That's how few of these we have. SF8228. Here we go. We are going to do this now. I'm sorry for the confusion, but gang, I did not realize that this one has already been pulled. I'm going to let it air. I'm going to let it air tonight. You better buy it. SF8228. Here we go. We're going to give you Santa. We're going to give you peace. We're going to give you glory. We're going to give you Princess Erin, Valentino Curly, and Blackie and Cubby. And I found out that is why Blackie and Cubby are retired.
Yeah, you may think that's a bit of a weird comparison, but when you compare the vinyl resurgence today to what happened from 1998 to 2002 in the Beanie Baby community, it is really terrifying. Beanie Babies, which were one of the biggest collectibles of the late 1990s, you can't get rid of them these days. A few of them will still sell for decent amounts on eBay and other places like that, but for the most part, the market evaporated overnight. Is that going to happen with vinyl? It is if the prices keep going up exponentially. The problem with the vinyl community is we're attracting more and more people in, and that's a great thing. It grows the hobby, and it grows people into listening to more new music. But when the newer people who have come in see the explosive prices and the way they keep moving up, they're not going to stay in it for long. And eventually, it's going to bottom out. Steve is right about that. How badly it bottoms out, however, is up to us. He is right. He brought up a great comparison when he said, who sets the prices on Discogs? Well, it is. It's you and me, the people that buy those things. And we also help to set the prices for the record labels. The problem is the record industry, along with the movie and television industry, are two of the most greedy industries on the planet. No matter what kind of a profit they make, they don't make enough for them. They're always looking for ways to nickel and dime consumers, that's you and me, on every aspect of things. I mean, how many times have they gone to court trying to block, second sales, like mom and pop stores of used stuff, and the continuing banter back and forth about copyright payments. Those they need because the songwriters have to get paid. But the Beanie Baby industry is an adequate example. The prices went up so explosively that nobody could keep up with them, and then boom, the bottom dropped out almost overnight. I know, because while we weren't collecting Beanie Babies, we did have a few of them, and we were always on the lookout for a good bargain for a Chocolate the Moose or a Liberty the Bear. And it was interesting to watch, and it was even more interesting to watch how fast the bottom fell out. What can we do to stop that from happening in the vinyl community? Well, we have to make a series of rules that we adhere to, even when we don't want to. And the first rule is don't overpay for something. When you're looking at Discogs, a lot of prices are average for a collector. Melinda Murphy pointed out quite correctly that a number of classic rock titles have suddenly exploded in price. A lot of it has to do with the fact that either they are becoming more scarce because people are holding on to them. I think that might be the case with Fleetwood Mac's classic album Rumors, or because somebody has recently passed away, which is what's happened with several of Olivia Newton-John's albums. As my pal Don brought up on our recent Finding Your Music Mojo, the Xanadu soundtrack has exploded out the wazoo since Olivia Newton-John's passing, and Julie Cruz's album has also exploded in price since her passing earlier this year. There have been all kinds of price explosions fueled by that. But there are things that do happen that are within our control. The first of which is Record Store Day. Record Store Day in the last couple of years have produced a couple of titles that have been highly in demand, and even before they went on sale to the general public online, Discogs had copies of Hail Satin from the Foo Fighters / Dee Gees on sale for almost $300, and you were still able to get it in the store for $29. We cannot allow that to happen. The same thing has happened with the Koyaanisqatsi re-release. I wanted to grab that, but that was so limited. That was far more limited than the DGs. It only had, I think, 1,200 copies overall. So it makes sense that it went up a little bit, but it jumped from $45, its list price, to $125 and up as high as $200 for a while, right after its release, because it is so hard to get a hold of. My rule of thumb, I won't pay more than 10% above the retail price for anything I buy off of Discogs. Whether that puts some things out of my reach, hey, I can't help it, but I'm not going to do that. It simply cannot be done if we want to keep the vinyl community solid and fluid and able to continue to grow. If we allow it to continue to explode, as it's been doing the last couple of years, we're going to see a Beanie Baby level drop off eventually, and that's going to cause the loss of hundreds of new record stores that have popped up, several labels, as Steve pointed out. Some of them will go out of business and that bottom out, but I think it's more than he thinks, and I don't think there's as many around as he thinks either. That's for coming from studies for Record Store Rewind that I've been doing. But in any case, we must maintain common sense on purchases. We cannot go overboard and pay, $200 or $300 for an album that is still being sold in the stores for $30. It just can't be done. If we continue to do that, we're perpetuating the fallout ourselves. And that would be a huge mistake to all of us and anyone else interested in getting into the vinyl community. It may seem like a kind of simple panacea, but it's the only thing I can come up with. And go over and check Professor Carlson's video out. It's well worth the watch. And that's this week's cover story. A quick correction to last week's show. When I did my spotlight on Tone Scott from Goldmine Magazine and his wonderful article on the vinyl community, I made the mistake of saying he'd only been a part of the vinyl community for a few months, which isn't true. He's been around a lot longer than that, over 10 years, way longer than I have. But he hasn't put up a lot of stuff recently, and then he started getting re-involved over the last couple of years. In any case, I do apologize to Mr. Scott for that error. Watching that video did inspire me to go back and resubscribe to Goldmine. I let my subscription lapse at the beginning of the pandemic. And I'm looking forward to reading more of his stuff and everything else on Goldmine. I've been going through quite a bit of it the last week. But in any case, I did not mean to do him a disservice and not acknowledge his contribution, because it has been many. Loved his record store profiles from a few years ago, and I didn't even realize it was the same gentleman that did them. In any case, I apologize, Mr. Scott, and continue to do your great work inside the vinyl community. It's the return of Out of the Box this week. I have some new stuff to show off. I picked up a few albums and CDs from Dawn and Mary at Two Hip Chicks this last week. I haven't been getting a lot of the singles because a lot of what they've got in their recent purchases is stuff that I have or that I have no interest in, although most of the time I'm interested in. I did pick up a couple more that'll be coming next week. But this last week they had some great CD sales, and I picked these up for $2 a piece. And some of them I don't know whether I'll like them or not, but it's worth the shot. And I'm always interested in adding new music to my collection. So here we go. This is Tanya Tucker, and the album is called Love Me Like You Used To. I've been a huge fan of Tanya's since she was a teenager, back when she first started. And I've always loved her stuff. I can't wait to see the new documentary coming out about her. That'll be fun. Atlantic 50 Years. This is a collection, a 2-record set, actually a 2 CD set of old style Atlantic logo on the CD, and the first one, and the more recent one on the second one. This includes some of Atlantic's biggest hits over the years. All the way back to Yakety Yak by the Coasters, and as recent as Jewel, Who Will Save My Soul, with 26 tunes on this 2-disc set, and some great stuff. Let me just show it there in case you want to look at it. What the titles, you can do a freeze frame on it. Great stuff, though. That'll be fun. I got a lot of these compilation albums. Disco Hits Volume 2. I always wanted to get this set from Rhino. We had it at discjockey.com. Used it quite a bit. Again, I'll just put that up there so you can still store the titles on it. But great stuff there. Also, the Queer as Folk soundtrack from Showtime. This has a lot of great dance music on it. And this was back in, I think, 2000, 2001, somewhere in there when that came out. There are the titles. Classic Relaxation, Mozart with Ocean Sounds. This just sounded intriguing. I can't wait to take a listen to that. That'll be fun. Again, let's see. Music from and inspired by the film Dick Tracy from Madonna. I always wanted this. I love Hanky Panky, and I never did pick it up, so I did pick it up this time. Great stuff on that. Three more compilation albums. Pure 70s. We actually sold this when I was working for the Transworld Company. A lot of great 70s artists and tunes. We'll put that up there so you can take a look at it. Blue Swedes here, Steelers Wheel, Eric Clapton, Peter Frampton. A lot of great stuff on there. The Living in Oblivion series, Volume 1. We also had this entire set at Disc Jockey. I loved these. These are new wave hits from the early 80s. And I don't know if you can see those or not. Those may not. There we go. A lot of good stuff on those. I thought this was intriguing. Walt Disney Records presents dog songs. What this is, every song has a dog in the theme. Me and You and a Dog Named Boo is here. Doggy in the Window is here. Puppy Love is here. Anything to do with dogs, you can see. Pretty clever idea, actually. And, of course, themed into 101 Dalmatians. And I also picked this up as part of this set. This was released, I believe, in the late 90s or early 2000s. This is part of the Icon series. It's the Carpenters album. And this has some of the best of their stuff over the years on it. Yesterday, Once More, Superstar, Rainy Days and Mondays, Top of the World, This Masquerade, Touch Me When We're Dancing, They Long to Be Close to You, Only Yesterday, I Need to Be in Love, We've Only Just Begun, and Those Good Old Dreams. Great collection this is. Some of the best stuff that they did. There's the back if you want to see it. And, of course, that came with this wonderful spider sticker, which I love. Those are the CDs. I also picked up some albums from Dawn and Mary, a total of 3, and I'm always on the lookout for good stuff and good bargains. I did not have this because it's a hits collection. I thought it would be great. I haven't broke it out of the sleeve that Dawn sent it in yet, but it's going to be great to listen to. This is Joan Baez, Greatest and Others. This is from her Vanguard years. I have this. I have the exclusive. I have 2 of them, actually. The pink vinyl version. Now I have the black vinyl version. So the pink vinyl version won't have to be played that much anymore. This is I Want Your Love by Chic from 1979. And I also picked this up. I'm not quite sure why, but I thought it would be fun just because I didn't have any of their stuff in my collection, and it would be fun to have. This is from the RCA Music Club, which I don't remember ever seeing their stuff in RCA, but you know, it's they had quite a bit of stuff there. This is the Letterman and Love Is. Whoa, that camera's really up on my face today. So those are the albums and the CDs I picked up from 2 hip checks. Dawn and Mary, thank you very much. I have a couple more albums to share with you. I just picked up yesterday that got here yesterday. My boys in Hanson have been releasing fan club only records, or CDs actually, for quite a few years, since the early 2000s at least. They may go back as far as 98 or 99. And they have started slowly releasing those fan club collections on vinyl. Now there's only 4 or 5 songs per each one, and there more and more than there's, like, I mean, I've got all of them on digital and most of them on CD. But when they started becoming available, I thought I'm going to grab these because they'll be fun and they're on exclusive colored vinyl, and it'll be neat. This is the members section called Never Let Go. I'm not sure what year it is, but judging from the hairstyles, I'd say it was 2003, 2004, 2005. It includes So Lovely, Call Me, Need You Now, and Never Let Go. Most of those songs you wouldn't know unless you're a rabid Hanson fan. This one comes on gold vinyl, like gold record vinyl. Love that. I haven't played these yet, obviously. They just got here last night. It's actually what I went to pick up when I was over at Record Crate's sale. And the other one is a more recent one, In Color. I believe this is from 2009, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. I would have to look up the dates for sure. But the vinyl has never been released until this year. It includes Somebody That Wants to Love You, Ghost Rider, Reach Out for My Hand, I Don't Want to Go Home, and I Lift You Up. No, actually, this is from 2014 or 15, if I Lift You Up is on here. There's the back cover. And this is on transparent splatter, blue and red splatter. Very cool. They're going to continue to release these, and ordering these put me into a contest to win an RGB Hanson turntable, which is a all-in-one turntable with the RGB logo, which is from their new album. I did get notice the RGB vinyl was supposed to be issued next month, and due to shortages, it's been pushed back to March of 2023, so it won't be here anytime soon. But these two will keep me and my boys happy for the near future, and I love the exclusive colored vinyl. And I have a couple other things that came that I'm not going to actually talk about this week because I want time to explore them, and I will talk about those next week. And that is out of the box for this week. Coverage of the Junior Eurovision Song Contest 2022 will begin on the Kirkham Report website this coming week. We now have all but the two of the, I believe it's 16 acts that will be appearing. Let me just check real quick. United Kingdom is returning to the contest this year. They have not been there for quite a while. Also, Azerbaijan, Bulgaria, Germany, and Russia are not taking part this year. Russia was suspended from all Eurovision after invading Ukraine, but Ukraine is participating. We have all but two of the artists now announced, some of the songs have been announced, and most of them will come out in the next few weeks, and we will be giving them coverage throughout the month of November. The Junior Eurovision Song Contest will take place December 11th, 2022 in Yerevan, Armenia, under the annual slogan this year, as we said a couple weeks ago, is Spin the Magic. And Junior Eurovision is for performers under 16 years of age. Participating this year, Albania, Armenia, France, Georgia, Ireland, who I also think hasn't been around for a while, Italy, Kazakhstan, Malta, the Netherlands, North Macedonia, Poland, Portugal, Serbia, Spain, the Ukraine, and the United Kingdom. The Junior Eurovision Song Contest is usually made available without geo-blocking on YouTube when it occurs, and you will be able to see it there. And of course, I will have links and talks and my ratings and views of all the songs as we go through the next month. So if you're interested in finding a little bit more out about the Junior Eurovision Song Contest, come on over to thekirkhamreport.com throughout the month of November and early December and check out my coverage of all the songs and the performers, and we'll see what's shaking. And that's Contest Fever for this week. I just did a shout out a couple weeks ago for my pal Jeff over at Calico Silver, but I've got to spotlight a video that laid me out. I was laughing my head off. He just posted it yesterday. He is going through a number of classic albums and asking the question, why was this particular song released? Don't mind the siren. Why was this particular song released as a single when there are better songs on the album? The result is hilarious, and if you haven't seen it yet, you need to go over and check it. Jeff has some great stuff other than that up. His stuff is always fun and enjoyable, and I know you'll get a kick out of it. So go check it. There'll be a link to the show note in the show notes to the video, and I really want you to go look at it. I'd love to see what you have to say about it. Also, in his comments, I know I commented on it, and I like I said, there's all kinds of scribbling notes about Obscuria, songs I can use on Obscuria that will make Jeff crazy. In any case, I really enjoyed it, and I think you will too. So please go over and check out Calico Silver's latest video. There will be a link in the show notes. Earlier in the cover story, I showed a clip from Shop at Home, featuring Don West. Don West was the Beanie Baby guy on Shop at Home. He later became a color commentator and a salesperson for Total Nonstop Action, now known as Impact Wrestling. And a few years ago, went back to Wenatchee, Washington, where he was a coach for one of their sports teams, and he's also a DJ on KPQ Radio, where he hosts the Don West Show. 2 years ago, Don was diagnosed with lymphoma in brain, so he's suffering from brain cancer. My wife and I have donated to his cause, and I hope that you will take the time to do so as well. Don is a wonderful person. He has always been super kind to all of the fans he has out there, whether they're from his days hawking chocolate the moose on Shop at Home, or doing play-by-play beside Mike Tenay on TNA/Impact, or whatever else he has done since taking up residence in the Wenatchee, Washington area. Wenatchee's an old stomping ground of mine. My stepfather was from there, and I spent a few months there in 1975. And KPQ FM, at the time a beautiful music station, played a big part of my life growing up, having it on for the beautiful music and the news roundup every morning. And Don is on the AM side and does a talk show there. I wish him all the best, and I hope you'll take a look into it and consider donating to his cancer fund. Stuff like this is not easy to fight, and he can use all the help he can get. Don, we love you. Get well. Time to head on out of here, but before I do, I want to remind you of all the stuff I do every week. This last week, again, I skipped the shows because of crazy stuff going on with doctor's appointments and stuff, and this coming week I have another series of them, but I hopefully will be able to get the shows done around them. I normally have Influencers Tuesdays at 4, Rank This Thursdays at 4, this show Saturdays at 4, and the Radio Retro Countdown on Sundays at 4. We have a lot of fun with that one. I am really enjoying that because I'm discovering stuff I've never heard, picking out these radio playlists to post, and it is really, really fun. I get a lot of comments on that too. I really enjoy that. I do have a couple of new things that I'm working on, and I hope to have those up and running in the next week or two, at least the first of them, and then the second one I'm still developing, and hopefully will make its premiere sometime after the first of the year. We'll see. I may get it up before that. We don't know. Also, Finding Your Music Mojo, the next episode will be on TKR Video Central a week from this coming Monday. Not sure what we're going to do yet, but we'll have a great topic for you, and that is with my pal Don from Two Hit Chicks, and it is every other Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern live this time on TKR Video Central. Our last episode this past Monday was on Two Hip Chicks, and I hope if you haven't seen it, you'll go check out the replay. Lots of great stuff going on. I am talking about a few other things going on for the next couple of weeks, and of course, as November goes through, we'll be ramping up coverage, as I said earlier, of the Junior Eurovision Song Contest, and also the upcoming Record Store Day Black Friday drop, and a lot more, and there is more to come. So please stay tuned. Also, out of the blue on Thursday, YouTube dropped my community tab in place. I don't know how that happened. I guess it has something to do with the new perks about being a premium subscriber, which we are, but I will be using the community tab. So if you aren't subscribed yet, you probably should, and if you have been subscribed, please, thank you very much, we really appreciate it. But I will be using the community tab, so you want to come over and check it out every now and then. There'll be polls, there'll be pictures, there'll be all kinds of interesting stuff popping up, and I am going to be expanding my use of several other social media things I just haven't had time to do. I would like to do an album of the day on Instagram in the next few weeks. I'll have that up, and I'll let you know what's going on, and we'll have it either on the website, on the community tab, or here on the Kirkham Report. As I said, thank you all for subscribing. If you haven't, please do, and thank you for your comments. I love getting your comments, enjoy reading them. I get a lot from Obscuria, a lot from the Radio Retro Countdown, and a lot from this show. I really appreciate all of them, and I do try to answer them as soon as possible. Sometimes it takes me a little bit of time because I got so much going on, and this is all in addition to my regular work, my real job. I'd like to make this my real job, but it ain't gonna happen. And I really, really do appreciate all of you watching, and just keep spreading the word. We'll grow and grow and grow until we take over the world, or whatever. Until next time, for the Kirkham Report, I'm TC Kirkham. Thank you for watching. Ciao, baby.